A very good afternoon to ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ICOM 9th Masterclass Series. Now, how are you guys doing today?
Very good.
Very good. Okay, I like this vibe, but can you give more vibe for me? How are you guys feeling today?
Very good.
Okay, thank you so much. So this is the 9th Masterclass Series today, okay, ladies and gentlemen. And before we start our class master series today, I would like to remind our household, alright, in here, our house rules, okay. Please silence your phone. Okay, we do not want any disturbance during our class session. Alright, if you like to go to the restroom, you can go outside and turn to the left, where you can go right now before we start, because we do not want any opening of the doors and it's going to disturb our classes here. And also, please no smoking, no eating inside our recital hall. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and also before I start our event for today, I would like to give a little bit introduction of our speakers, alright? So, it's our great pleasure and for our esteemed guest for today, which we have honored our guest here, Mr. Michael Veerapen. He will be sharing a valuable insight on the topic, why I play. Now, a name synonymous with Malaysia jazz music scene. Now, Michael Veerapen will share and demonstrate a performance method and technique with his jazz. Now, without further ado, let's give an applause to Mr. Veerapen for his title of the topic today, Why I Play.
introduce myself. My name is Michael Veerapen. I'm a professional musician. I've been at it since 19, let me count. You all don't know 19, and there was a 1972. So that makes me almost 53 years in the industry, playing music. It's nothing to applaud, you just have to live long enough and you get to 53. So that's who I am. I'm a professional musician primarily. I'm also a composer, arranger, music director, teacher, etc. I'd like to introduce my friends here today. ICOM alumni, Wong on drums, and MPO alumni, etc. And I guess he doesn't want to talk about that. But Mr. Fu. So I've asked him many times, Fu, why, do you want me to give you a whole full name? No, just Fu will do. So, but it's not FOO, as you might imagine that's on his IC is FOO. But, when we hear him play, it's called Fu. So when you pronounce him and you greet him, say, Fu. Okay, so this is going to be a very, very, very short talk on why I play. Okay? And why I play is because I love it. Okay, so that's the end. Thank you very much, Cliff. Okay, so yes, we all play because we love it. A certain amount of passion is involved, etc., etc. But the problem is, really, the problem statement is, and it's the same in anything, whether it's in relationships, in anything that you love, that you have a passion for, the challenge that you face is really, how do you sustain it? So I can tell you with all certainty that I love it, and I'm 53 years in the industry playing music, and I've been playing music since I was 4 years old. But 53 years in professional music industry, I love it. I think I love it even more. And if you want to be something in this music industry, then you have to learn how to sustain your passion, to keep it going for all these years, because sometimes it becomes very, very, very challenging. And I got some notes for you. Yeah, I was just telling Irene, I put the notes on and they're so small, I can't see. Oh yes, that's right. So love and passion, just like in anything else, can fade. It can fade. You can say, wow, I love this girl. Wow, passion. I cannot think, I cannot eat, I cannot sleep, I cannot do anything. Yeah, but 2 weeks later, it's gone. And what happened? I thought you were passionate, And similarly with music too. I thought you were passionate. I thought, wow, this is great. I really want to get it. And then especially young people with guitars. Wow, I want to play the guitar. I love it. I tell Dad, buy me a guitar. And he buys you a guitar. And it's a steel string guitar. And the moment you play it with your soft little fingers, and you hit the steel string, you say, oh my goodness, it's painful. And then you just have to go and keep on playing it until your calluses form, and then maybe it's not so painful. But many drop by the way. My son is one. I brought him a nice guitar and said, okay, you want to play guitar? Yeah, I play guitar. It's going to be challenging. Yes, no, I want a guitar. Bought a guitar, played it 3-4 chords. He learned D chord, C chord. After it's just too painful, it was lying in there. I had to give it away. So give it away to my friend in church. So okay. That's love, passion. That's also, there's a saying in Bahasa that's also hangat tahi ayam. Yeah, it's hot. Well, it strikes the ground, but it cools off very fast. So you want to be able to sustain it. That's the challenge. Okay? To sustain that love. Okay? And how do you grow this love? Not just sustain or maintain. You actually want to grow to love this more. And as it is with long-lasting relationships, like you see this couple been married 50 years and all that, how do you do it? Oh, I don't know, we just grew more and more and more and more and more over the years. Wow. That's exactly what you must do with music. But I think a lot of you probably right now thinking this is the wrong choice. I should have gone to IT. I should be a coder by now. Okay? Now, and the fundamental problem is there's a limit to where talent can go. Yes, you're all here because you have a talent, but talent has a limit. Okay, we all start off there with, wow, great one. I will tell you a little story about this gentleman, and I will not mention his name, but many years ago, the great Duke Ellington Orchestra came to Malaysia, long time ago. And this young boy who was a bucket TV champion and all kind of thing, really impressed the Duke himself, playing clarinet. Ooh, terror. And he was, wow, it was a real prodigy and all that. Many years later, he performed with me, and we started playing together, and yeah, all those things that his talent could hear, whatever his talent could hear, he could play superbly well, except we were starting to play modern pieces for which you can't hear, because there are some strange chords coming for which, hey, how do you hear this chord? You can't hear it because you didn't know it. And therefore, without knowledge, is unable to proceed further. So this is the key. You will hit a wall when it comes to your talent. You will run where your talent will just run dry and say, I got nothing left. I'm plateauing and keep playing the same things, I don't know what to do. And that's why you're here in school. Because the key to sustaining passion is to acquire knowledge. Okay, it's not just a period of your life here in ICOM, it's a few years, where you are going to acquire, and this happens a lot. A lot of kids go to school, they and they, wow, come out, and I'm like, okay, great, that's it. My period of acquiring knowledge is over, now I know everything. Actually, you don't know anything. And if you think you do, then trouble lah. Because in 6 months' time, you will hit another wall. The post-college wall that says that, oh, what do I do now? I even had a kid come to me and want to take lessons and say, oh, sir, I'm a graduate. I'm a graduate, I won't say which school, but not this school. School. I'm a graduate, and I came out and I heard Julian Chan play the saxophone, then I died. I said, why? Julian's very good. He said, no. He said, I went to school and I don't know anything he's playing, and now I'm stuck because I've already gone to school. Now what do I do? And you're gonna face that, huh?
Take lessons from Julian Chan.
No money. Yeah, no money. Okay, so no, he came to me. Julian, I think Julian is no. He came to me, not Julian. So I said, yeah, this is it, isn't it? Yeah, it's very scary because once you left school, that's it. Your parents have spent so much money to acquire knowledge. Yes, you can score very well in your grades, but you can't acquire knowledge, and because you are not a knowledge acquirer person. So you must make sure that you're the kind of person that wants to learn all the time. And I can tell you that every week, I don't know the Fu and Cliff testify, but I think I am surprising them with something different every week. Every week there's something, they hear me play all the time, they're sick and tired, but I try to surprise them once in a while with something a little different, because I found something this week that I never knew existed. And some of the times I found it on YouTube. I said, what on earth is this guy doing? And I sit down there and I analyze. And what school is good for is, it tells you how to analyze. So, here's a food analogy. What's the difference between Gordon Ramsay and you? You both like to eat, and you both love food, right? So, you're as good as Gordon Ramsay lah. The only thing is when Gordon Ramsay comes and eats the food that he eats, while you are going, whoa, damn strong, Gordon, damn nice, huh? Damn nice. Gordon's eating, you're damn nice. But Gordon's tongue has happily analyzed the whole process. His tongue has tasted everything. You can tell what temperature it was cooked at, all the ingredients go in. You can tell the process by his tongue. I think school is good for this. School formats your ear so that when you're hearing something, now you don't, wow, that one very nice of the song, wow, nicer of the song, right, nice. And then you still blur, you don't know what's happening in the song. Then, salah like you, that means you learn nothing. Your ear was not educated. Your ear can't tell what key even. Whoa, I'm sorry for you. Because you're going to come out there and still be, oh, very nice, but chef school, tak boleh pakai. The difference is in music is your ear is now an educated ear. And you got to use this ear to help you to keep on learning, acquiring knowledge. You understand? So Gordon Ramsay will go home tomorrow and then you sitting down every day, you're going to eat in the same shop. Tomorrow he's cooking in his house exactly the same thing. Because his tongue is educated. His tongue knows how to break things down. So this is your goal to come out of music college, is you have to train your ear to be able to hear. Your ear has to be able to see. Hear, right? Okay, you have to be able to see with your ear what is going on in the music, okay? So knowledge is key. You have to be a learning person all through. So I think that's the key thing for me, because I love music, and if you really love it, you want to know everything about it. You can't say, oh, I love my girlfriend so much. What does she do? I don't know. You ask her what she does. She's very pretty. Okay, where is she from? Actually, I didn't ask her. Is she from KL? Oh, I don't know. A lot of you are like that with your passion. You don't know anything about your passion. But if and then you say, you love her? Yeah, I love her, I really love her. How do you love her? I don't know. It's like that. See, you don't care enough to find out. If you really love her, you'll find out all about her. You say, even what her shoe size is also you'll know. Right? Actually, what's my wife's shoe size again? 4.5, I think. That's my point. My point is, if you loved it, the proof of it is your continual interest in it. Your continual interest in learning and discovering more and more about it. And music is one of those things that, wow, it's so true. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. And it's inexhaustible. Every time I discover something new, I say, oh my goodness, I fell into another cave. Now what do I do? Oh, I'm going to need 3 more lifetimes to sort this one out. What on earth is Brad now playing with his left hand? Oh, okay, good. At least it gives me something to do for the rest of my life. Let's try and acquire this knowledge, okay? So that's knowledge. And the second thing is, with this knowledge, was that the third thing? Actually, I'm old. I can't keep count. Next thing is, you have to love practice. I used to tell this a story about the practice, that actually the true test of loving your craft is your willingness to practice it like crazy, and you don't even feel the time. And your becoming famous and all that kind of thing is just a result of your love for practice. That's what, and I heard Roger Federer said this recently, and he borrowed from me actually. And he also heard me say it somewhere, because that's exactly what he said. And Tiger Woods, he also borrowed it from me. Tiger Woods, why is he so good, and why he can spend hours on practice? He just loves hitting the ball. And Roger Federer just loves hitting the tennis ball. And that's the secret to success, is, why are you so good? I just love hitting the stupid ball. And Mike, why? I just love playing the piano. I can spend hours practicing. Getting good or becoming famous, etc. is a consequence. It is not the goal. A lot of people have the goal. What do you want to be? Famous. famous what? Famous guitarist. Okay, great. And you work on your fame now, social media, everything, posting here, saying, making stupid comments all over the place. You become infamous and all that, but you don't practice. And I said, you're never going to get anywhere. But if you really want to be famous, love practicing, love the process. Okay? And my last tip for you is, if you're a performing musician, get into or start a band. That's just the best thing on earth. And the joy that we have when we play. When we first started playing in track, Simply Jazz in track, we really we were playing to astounding no people for half a year, right? Almost half a year, nobody. Because what is a jazz club doing in track of all places? I mean, the DJs and all around us was playing so loud we couldn't even hear ourselves, but we just enjoyed playing. We enjoyed playing because as a performer, and when you start a band, then you realize that your first love is to play with your friends. There's a story about Keith Jarrett Trio in one concert, and they were so looking forward to the concert. Gary Peacock, Jack DeJohnette, and Keith Jarrett and all that. And then the concert had to be postponed because it rained. And then this, I can't remember who it was, but was with them, I think the manager, and said they looked like three little boys, so sulking, like three boys who couldn't go and play football because the field was wet and it was raining, it was soggy, and they were so disappointed. And they played tons of concerts, and yet the next one is the most exciting one. And when they couldn't do the next one, they were just disappointed because they love to play. And it tells you something, they don't love the audience, the audience adores them, but their prime motivation for playing was to play together. And this is what I want to encourage you when you become professional musicians. First, love to play together with your friends, because it's the most motivating thing. You want to show your friends new tricks. And quite frankly, it's jazz. Nobody understands what you're playing anyway. So half the time I'm playing down here, you guys don't even know what I'm playing. It doesn't matter, but they know. And so when you're playing for them, it's because you know, right, what I did. Not bad, huh? Okay, that's it. Because they're the only ones who know what you did. Because they play with you all the time. And they don't say, whoa, new one, huh? And they do something new, and that's it. You know, that's. And when you have this, you have the practice, you have the knowledge, you have the this, and you have the friends. You will stay loving it for a long, long time, okay? So that's all I have to say, and now please excuse me, I want to go and play with my friends. Yeah, Ivy, why you shut me? Okay. So this piece called Oasis, and I want to feature, this features your alma mater, Cliff. I told him, come, let's do this, I'm going to feature you. No. It's your old school. Okay. So it's called Oasis, Dave Valentine's, Oasis, yeah. Take one. And that's the proof. So now you have some questions. I'm happy to attempt to answer them. Okay, typical Malaysian style, everybody has no questions.
Yeah.
Great. Hi.
Hi.
My name is Kevin. I'm a keyboardist. So I have a question. Maybe it's more technical. So regarding, let's say you have a verse, how can you have the different variations at the second time, third time?
In the performance.
Yeah.
Variations.
Correct.
I think you have to intend to do them. They're not spontaneous. I think one of the misunderstandings about jazz is that jazz is entirely spontaneous. I mean, if you have that perception, then it's wrong, because it is very well planned. So if I have a variation because it's things I planned to do in advance, you cannot wait to go there and hope to be inspired. Sometimes yes, we're particularly inspired, and then you hear something different. But I always have a fallback plan, and I've always structured. And you find this even the great pianists like Bill Evans, and you find his multiple different recordings of the same tune. Well, you find that he would have gone through the same, pretty much the same patterns and things. Why? Because they spend many, many hours trying to get to perfect the piece. It's not just going there and playing. That's not the case. In jazz, it's very pre-planned. So variations are pre-planned. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. But you make it sound like you just thought about it, lah. Any other questions?
Oh, this
Yeah.
this variation that he's talking about.
Yeah.
Is it when you mean the solo? Is it instrumental solo? Is
But
it?
anything, even if it's an instrumental, not exactly the words that you would say all the time, because it's never the same thing twice. But we stay on the topic. So jazz improvisation, okay, just a quick one. People think that you go there and you make stuff up. Jazz improvisation, you go there and you just, something happens, you make stuff up. Actually, it's not. We like to use the word language. It is the language which you learn. So like if you're learning English or learning Bahasa or something, you learn the language. You've been learning to speak the language because that's the language with which you communicate. But jazz is such that it's like three friends going to and have tea together, and we have a topic, and that's the song, and we are talking about that particular topic. But if we talk about the same topic tomorrow, it's not exactly the same script. It's not scripted, but the topic's the same now. And yeah, many things we would find repeating ourselves, but not in the same order, not in the same that. But what we do not do is we do not make up new words. We still speak the same words which we practice over and over again. So if I play the line, I practice the line 1,000 times. But as in a conversation, what word to say when is totally spontaneous, right? Unless you're a freak lah. The conversation went to something else, and then I have to say this because I practiced this all morning. I want to say this thing I practiced, and say, hey bro, we moved on different topic. What are you talking about? What you say is spontaneous, but it's all based upon whether you have the words to speak it. Those words to speak what you have to say have come from a long time, many years of speaking the language. So the spontaneity in jazz is what you want to play at that time. That could be different tomorrow. But how to play it, what to play it, how to execute it, oh, that was practice, man. You get it? So jazz improvisation is not going there and making up new words, and then your friend say, what did you say? Oh, today I decided to say blah blah blah, and now this blah 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 means, watermelon juice. How do we know? Yesterday you said watermelon juice, today you said blah blah blah. Jazz, man. That's nonsense. Okay, jazz is not like that. But the choice of what to play is the spontaneity, is the improvisation, what to choose to play. Maybe an idea comes, but the skill is there to execute it because that's what you practice. So you practice so hard, your language so waiting for inspiration to come. Like when your friends are talking and sometimes your conversation is really so inspiring. Most of the time it's not, because you're all looking at your handphones, so there's no conversation.
Thank you.
So does that clarify? Okay.
Thank you.
Any other question? Doesn't have to be about jazz, it's a boring subject. Yeah.
Hi Mike.
Hey, really.
How do you superimpose?
Sorry?
Superimposition. Superimpose.
Superimpose.
Yeah. And it's nice if you could give example.
sure what superimpose is also. For example,
Hi guys, pleasant to have you here, Mike.
okay,
And
pleasure, my honor.
Cliff, everyone. And just regarding this improvisation,
Right.
about simple superimposition. For example, we have a 2/5,
Right.
and then how do you superimpose it?
Oh.
Using what tricks?
Right.
Using sub-5, using whatever, and then how to make it sounds cool. Simple.
I practice a lot. I practice a lot. I hate going there and leaving things to chance. So if there's a line that I'm playing, I've played it before. So this is a funny thing about so the subject could be from the practice room to the performance, to actual performance. There's a big gap because all of us have been to jam sessions, and all of us have said, "Wow, jam session, practice." Like even the singing also practice and all that kind of thing. And then, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Big plans. Oh, terror. Then you practice. Then you go down there and you show up. And, alamak, they counted the song too fast. Nothing can work. And you go down there and you're hanging out for dear life, and all the things that you practiced did not work. Or, even if everything is right, but the drum was too loud, something distracted you, then your thought got out. Because you're going from your cozy little perfect environment in your home practice, and you're going to the real world. All your tricks cannot jalan. And this is the lag that we have. So that is why I say, play with your friends more, practice more, play more. Why? Because the thought process of assembling and getting your ideas on stream, coming out and not shocking yourself, and not, just the whole thought process, timing, etc. It's just like jazz is like a moving train, and chord progressions are flying by like a moving train, and you have to practice jumping onto the train that's moving. Right? Many of the time when you see the door, you jump only to realize, oops, it has moved, and you lose your timing and you lose a place. But that's the fun. That is all fun. That is all this thing. And then you go back, practice some more, and then you realize, where did I go wrong? Why did I blank out? All the things I wanted to do I never did. In the end I did the same old stupid things I always do. But once upon a time, those same old stupid things that you always do were not stupid things. Those were things you practiced, and suddenly they became second nature, you see. So there's a lag. There's a timing lag. But you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and it becomes second nature. Right? So like Freddie, all the superimposition stuff and all that, that's all practiced. If I want to do a sub-5, I have practiced that sub-5 1,000 times. I've done all the things that I played now, I've done how many times over. The things that I did not practice and play that was surprising to me and unique for the day were actually all the mistakes that I made. Hey, good thing that mistake landed, that's not what I intended, but landed in a good place, huh? Not bad. Lucked out, man, cool. But they knew. I don't know whether to answer your question. But if you want to talk technicalities, then, well, that's another subject. Like how to superimpose, how to make a sub-5, that's a different subject. That's, wow, big subject. Any other questions? Yep.
Hi Michael, my name is
Hi.
King Shen,
Hi.
and I'm a part-time performer starting to play jazz. I would like to seek for advice regarding, like me myself, depends on looking at the score, like the written score, rather than depending on the lead sheets. So how do you give advice on that people that too depending on looking to a prepared score? So which means everything is written, so you just follow. But my difficulty is that I'm too depending on it until my practice routine has become numb or like nothing new to. And
What kind of music are you talking about?
jazz,
Jazz.
a written jazz, written arrangement, and I ran out of like passion. There's time when I ran out of passion to continue because of like, hey, I couldn't keep up with that arrangement and or what I practice and what I'm jamming with my band. Like, hey,
Okay.
I couldn't keep up. Like,
I'm trying to understand the question. Seems to me like you have your approach is wrong, because your understanding of it is wrong, so to speak. Now, in classical music, all the repository of information in classical music exists in the authority for classical music is in the original manuscripts that actually Beethoven wrote. Now they wrote in kind of like the notation that we have today, but those who have studied it very carefully, even to today, still argue what he meant. But it is still the authority. Mozart, Beethoven. In classical music, the authorities are manuscripts. So you read the manuscripts. And a lot of these books that have come out and all that have printed based upon the manuscripts, based upon that interpretation of the manuscript. Okay? In jazz, what is the authority? Not the real book. The real book is not the authority. In fact, the real book is so full of mistakes. But if you start going to the real book and score as an authority, then you're in the wrong place. That means you're learning from the wrong source. The authority in jazz music is the recordings. So if you're saying, I'm doing Sola, Miles Davis, well, you have to go back to Miles Davis recording first, which is why when you're learning jazz, yeah, the score is in front of you, but with all my students, I say, come, let's listen to every version of Sola that we can hear. I go back to that. Oh, this is Sola, this Kichar playing Sola. Then you start to understand how that one tune is being interpreted by all the various musicians. What it does is it gives you an understanding of what the song is about, but it also gives you an understanding of how different people, different musicians, wonderful musicians have interpreted it, have taken it. So in other words, the authority is the recordings, and therefore the only way you can read the authority is with your ears. You gotta listen, and you gotta copy. What is the guy playing? And we do that, and that is called transcription. Now, formal transcription is when you write down the notes. But if you actually write down the notes, it has to be based upon you heard it and you wrote down the notes. But we don't even need that. I learned and copied Bill Evans line for line, and it took me hours, but I learned line for line. And when I start to play exactly like that, it's almost as though I stepped into the shoes. And when I can play in such that I can't hear myself and no one can tell, okay, that's when I know I sound like Bill Evans. You understand? So that is where we go to for where we learn. We learn by hearing what other people have done. Transcriptions. Because you cannot learn jazz by going to the score. Wrong source. You're thinking classical music. You're thinking that'll help you. Then when you come up, you can't play because I need to read the notes. But if you learn by copying, somehow or other you can play your way through. And then the score in front of you, just to remember the chords. Oh, stupid, that's on F7. I keep forgetting it's F7. That's all the score is for me.
so,
yeah.
So the knowledge is also important. I mean, to refer back to the real book score.
The real book is there as a prompt.
Prompt.
Just a suggestion, just a reminder. It's a starting page lah. I go, oh, Sola. I'll say this. I'm going to listen to the recording and say, hey, this fellow plays this chord different from this one. But it's a starting page. That's it. It's not the Bible. The real book is full of mistakes. but it's a good kind of reference. It's a good starting place. But you must go to the recordings. And you must listen to every conceivable version that you can get your hands on. And now YouTube's so easy. Last time you had to go and buy the records. And I had to go, when I was a kid, from Seremban, I save up my money and I would take the 4-hub bus from Seremban to KL in Pudu and walk to Ampang. And I can buy only one album. And there's Love Music in Ampang and another music upstairs. And I would go and buy one Oscar Peterson album, walk back to Pudu, and take a bus and go back to Seremban, and I listen to it, only listen to it. And what score? Although I was classically trained, I'm so glad I didn't have scores, because then I would approach it completely wrongly by reading. Jazz is a spoken language. Yeah? You go to Penang, you see some Indian boys serving you in the restaurant speaking Hokkien that you won't believe. I guarantee you he cannot read Hokkien, but he can speak Hokkien. Jazz doesn't care whether you can read. The greatest jazz pianist in all time, go and Google him. Art Taylor. He's the greatest of all. He's the GOAT. Art Taylor. Do you know he's blind? Yeah. What does that tell you? Seeing is optional. Hearing is everything, okay?
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Ariana. I'm a singer-songwriter and a pianist.
Right.
I was wondering, when you first started doing original works, whether you were playing them or composing them, who your formative influences were? Regardless of genre.
Okay. That's good. Interesting. Because I am not one of those who are eclectic in their listening. I am more, I'm an Indian, you see. So Indians don't have a classical school. It depends on which guru you go to. So you are a disciple of the guru. If he accepts you, you got to go and offer yourself. And if he says, okay, you come, then he'll tie something on you and says, okay, I accept you as a student. Yeah. And then whether you are a Zakir or whatever, you only have one guru. All your life is only one guru. Whereas you never hear of this, oh, I'm an Indian classical tabla player, I've learned from all of them. No such thing. One guru. So in jazz, I only listened to one person at one time. So in my formative years, it was only Oscar Peterson. I listened only to Oscar Peterson, because what's the point of listening to somebody else? I couldn't even make out what Oscar Peterson was playing. And it's like, I didn't understand this one, so I'm jumping to another one, also I don't understand. I'm jumping to another one, also I don't understand. In the end, I don't understand. I'll stay with Oscar until I try to pick out a few notes. Wow, 8 bars, I played 8 bars of Oscar. I stayed with one until I was able to get it. And then when I was playing, okay, great. Then when I went to Berkeley, I listened to Bill Evans. I listened to Bill Evans pretty much all through my Berkeley years, until I was playing many of his solos, line for line, note for note. And then side, a little bit on the side, a bit of Hancock, a bit of Chick Corea, but Evans all the time. Then when I came back, for many years it was Keith Jarrett. So it was Jarrett all the time. And then after that, I was concentrating more on my music, but still very Jarrett sounding, Evans-ish, Peterson-ish, and Hancock-ish, and a bit of Chick Corea on the side. So when I did my album, I started to evolve in my own style and say, hey, I do have a sound, I do have a style. Interesting, huh? I don't know where that came from. But anyway, that was my journey. And then now, today, it's still one. I'm listening a lot to Fred Hirsch, simply because I want to grow my left hand to have an independent brain. So many pianists are right-handed, and left hand is just an accompaniment and an occasional thing. But I'm trying to be ambidextrous. I don't know what's the word for it. I want to be both my hands to be able to think independently of each other and have a conversation with each other, etc. So I'm working, maybe working years. I don't know whether these guys notice, but they notice every time I'm trying nonsense with my left hand, and at their expense. But so that's where I am right now, just because Fred Hesh is the greatest counterpoint jazz musician ever. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to ask, once you've gotten your friends together and you guys want to play jazz, and then you choose to play jazz and you've done all the standards, right, the jazz standards, but how do you go from there? What's the direction you think about, and how does a usual practice session look for you guys, and how do you get better from there?
What we do is we come to our practices together having practiced individually. So you can't come to a practice session and then practice, because nothing's going to happen. The most productive you can get in a band is when everybody has practice. So even this morning we had a rehearsal for this weekend's singers at Simply Jazz and all that. But I would have sent scores. And even before they come, they would have had an idea of things. So we are very quick, we are very efficient and all that, because they do their homework. So if you want your band to be successful, then everybody comes pre-prepared. If you want to run a band successfully, have an agenda of tunes that you're going to play today. Don't go there and say, what are we going to do today? Huh? Then nobody's prepared, right? I say, hey, come, we are going to try this song. They say, everybody listen to it. If somebody's the leader, get scores together and give everybody, hey, listen to this one, this is the link, okay, copy. And then when you come together, everybody's ready for it. Okay? So now that you've done it, then you will have a successful outcome. Okay, now after that, well, you keep rinse and repeat lah. Then you build up a repertoire. When you build up a repertoire, what's the next thing you do? Hey, let's get a gig lah. Let's call Mike or Tasneem at Simply Jazz and try and organize whether we can play one Wednesday night, maybe 1 set, 2 sets, go jam session, because that's the nature of us. Yeah. We want to perform, we want to go out there, we want to show what we can do. That's the whole of it. Pinky comes to Simply Jazz and she just wants to sing. She wants to show what she wants to sing. She doesn't want to sing at home, and what's the point? No fun, right? Because you naturally want an audience. If you have a football club and you all play amongst yourselves, what's the next natural thing? The next kampung will come, let's challenge. Right? That's just the logical sequence of it. But you only feel like doing that when you feel, hey, we've got something to show. So first, get your band sounding good with a repertoire. The rest takes care of itself. You sure want to go out and play. You will sure find a gig. Then you do a gig, then you say, it's exciting, man, you got a few dollars. You come back, you practice on and then rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. Next thing you know, you're 53 years in the industry. Look at me now. Still doing exactly the same thing. Actually nothing has changed. It's the same thing. We get together, we play, have a great time, and then we look for the next gig. That's it. This is our life. This is what we love. Okay? That's why I say, if you love doing all this background stuff, the rest takes care of itself. Yeah.
In your 53 years of like band, people comes, people goes, right?
Yeah.
So how do you see as a band, right? Different personality. I mean, their music journey start different. So when the bands are here, right? Some of them are here. They may just starting to play jazz. So how do you lower down your standard, or do you somehow like just move on, just wait this person to come to this standard? You get what I mean? It's like, how do you
I understand this process very well. Coming up from Berkeley, I was really privileged to be working with some fantastic musicians, Louis Pregassem, Josie Thomas, Andy Peterson, all these guys who were the core of our jazz industry at that time. And so I have the highest regard for them musically. They're fantastic musicians. They're fantastic musicians. These are the ones that get, just by ear alone. But there was also coming a new era of things where we needed to be educated. You need to be able to read. You need to be able to understand scores, etc., to move further. So I spent a lot of time with them, teaching how to read, how to this, how to that, and all kind of thing. And essentially, for me, my journey has been grow your own. Just to grow young musicians, grow other musicians, so I can play with them. So it's like badminton. You love playing badminton so much, but in your kampong only young fellas to play badminton. Come and teach you how to play badminton. I teach you to become good so I can trash you. But where's the fun in beating you when you cannot even return the shot? So I got to teach you how to return the shot, teach you how to get good, teach you how to say, until now that you guys are really good, now we can have a solid game so I can trash you. But I love the process, you see. I didn't want to stay in the US. I love Malaysia. I don't want to leave home. But there's no jazz scene here, so I had to grow it one by one. And now, wow, at the colleges, look at this and kind of that. Now it's easier to find fellas come, let's play so I can trash you 21 love, 21 love. I love it. Says, love it. But the object is, I love to play with them. And it's to my interest that I do my best to make them better and better. So we can play more and more, and so I can still be okay, 21-5, 21-5. I hate when, I'm looking forward to the day when it's 5-21, 5-21, coming already. But yeah, I never had that I only have to play people on my level. What are you kidding? This is Malaysia. How many level people are you nuts? Right? I was patient, but I was make sure that they all played properly, and if they screwed up, I would be very, no, it's like this, it's like that. But then they got really good, because I didn't doubt for a moment that they were brilliant. They just can't read. And right, just didn't understand a few things about jazz, but my goodness, their ears. I mean, what are you gonna say? Louis Pregassem. I mean, the late Louis, like, gosh, top 5 drummers in the world, easy, close eyes. Reading a bit ancho, but after a while, we're like, it's like nothing. I mean, Paul Ponadore, my goodness, Paul Ponadore. Also, they're actually good ones all died already. What's happening? Why am I still here? Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, if they know.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, hello, I'm Vicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, to talk about Paul Panadura, I have 2 questions. Can you tell us a bit, since we're going back into a lot of history, can you tell us a bit about your inspiration to 1,000 Billion Smiles? I know you wrote that for Sudirman to sing at the Royal Albert.
Yeah.
And then the second one is, were you part of the starting of all that jazz in SS2?
Yeah, I owned it, yeah.
Oh, okay,
so
thank you.
that one, the second question is easier. It's easier. Few. Me, my cousins, 2 cousins and me, we were sitting down bored playing darts in my house. Thinking, how nice if there's a jazz club, How nice if there's a jazz club, Then we all look at each other. Hey, let's start one now. Like that.
Yeah, I still remember that place. It was the first club.
Yeah, so that was the club I owned together with my 2 cousins.
And Sheila Majid used to go there, something like that.
Yeah, Sheila, Sudirman, everyone. And that, interestingly enough, that club was where we had Monday nights, we had open mic. And then this fat fella came, one that's named, and now became a comedy superstar, Harid Iskandar. So that's how the stand-up comedy started in my club. You never know, right? The butterfly effect. You do something and something and something and something. The thing is just do lah. Just do. And you can only do it when you got friends. You cannot be successful in this career and maintain your passion if you don't have good friends, because sometimes you really feel a bit low. But when your friends come along after that, it lifts you up. So this is a group effort. And everyone who's successful is a result of a group effort. Okay? You can't do it by yourself. Oh, the first question.
Paul Ponadu, right? I mean,
A 1,000 million smiles. A 1,000 million smiles is so Suleiman was going to London for Asia's Best Entertainer Award kind of thing. The competition was in 2 halves. First half sing one song, second half sing one song. So he asked me, can you be my music director for London, etc. And he gave me the specifications, and I know Anita Sarawak and Kula Desma and all of them, and say, oh wow, bro, tough man. So, but we need to go there with something unique. A unique something rather than sing a song, because you know what Anita Sarawak's gonna do. She's gonna be some dynamite. She's hard-hitting dynamite, you know. Tina Turner. So that's her thing, you know. Kula Desma is just gonna blow everybody out of the water because of her brilliant Barbra Streisand voice. We needed something that was different. So first half he was going to do a sketch where he was going to do Charlie Chaplin's Smile. He would be making up, and after that he will end up looking at Charlie Chaplin. It's quite cute. But the second half, what song was he going to sing? I don't know. Suleiman is a wonderful entertainer, and he sings great, but not at that level. This thing is a total act. That he sings, he dances, he does all kind of things. So he said, tell you what we need to do. Let's do an original composition. I don't want to end up, putting myself to a corner and saying, come, I'll write you a song. I just felt it was correct to write him a song. And I said, okay, I don't know whether those days there was this television program, a series called Mind Your Language.
1,000 apologies.
1,000 apologies. So that is, you're right, Irene. It was exactly that, 1,000. And that 1,000 seemed to be kind of like Asian thing, hyperbole and all that. So I said, this is what you're going to be. You're going to be the emissary, because the competition's in London. Albert Hall. You're going to be the emissary from Asia. I'm bringing you 1,000 million smiles. 1,000 million smiles. Hey, that's how the title came now. So conceptually, then I got Paul to write the lyrics for me. Paul runs a bunch of lyrics, and Paul's lyrics are, wow, I need a dictionary. What does this word mean? So edit down, and I set it to a melody, and then we rehearsed it, etc. And then then he sang it and he won.
Thank you.
Okay, that's a short story. Okay. And hi, Ariana.
Hi, just one more question.
Yeah.
About your classical training before. I was wondering how you reconciled that with the jazz approach, because to my understanding, when you even compose in a classical style, they tell you, okay, avoid parallel motion, avoid this, avoid that. So did you have to unlearn certain things when you first started?
I have to say I wasn't very good with my classical music. It was only when I took my grade 3 examination, and I went straight to grade 3 examination, that horrors. There's this part of the grade 3 examination called sight reading. And they put this bunch of things to me to sight read and said, what am I supposed to do with this? Play. I didn't know how to read. And that's when my piano teacher after that said, he got 0 for sight reading. He said he doesn't read. I said, I never said I read. Then how do you play all your pieces? I listen to you. I watch your hand a bit and I listen to you and I copy you. You copy these pieces? I said, yeah. Duh. Doesn't everyone? And you know the piano teachers, look at the notes. I say, what for? Because I already have it in my head. If I looked at the notes, then I miss it. I have to look down because I remember how it sounded and I copied everything. So from that point onwards, I always had this sight reading. So I hate notes. I'm okay now. I've improved a lot. But at that time, it was traumatic for me because I couldn't read and I had to start all over again. I said, how do you do it? Because I just copied all the pieces. And that's the gift that you need for jazz. For jazz, it's the opposite thing. You need to have that kind of ear that can copy anything. So I have a can copy anything ear. So I never had that issue that you're talking about because I didn't even know what I was doing in classical music. Okay? So I didn't have any of these parallel fifth motion things and all that. If I don't do a parallel fifth, it's simply because it doesn't sound nice to me. And a lot of the times that the reason why these rules are there in classical music because they just don't sound nice. So if your ear naturally gravitates to all things that do sound nice, inadvertently you happen to be following the rules, right? Right? Because I'm just interested in the outcome. The outcome is like that. Hey, you play this thing, let it sound like Chinese music. Ding, 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 ding. Doesn't sound good. Doesn't sound good. Right? You 2 octaves and a fifth. Where's the C chord? You need a third. Just put a third inside there. Okay, that sounds nice. Like this sounds nice. And then you end up being correct in classical music. Okay, so my ears will just tell me what I need to know. I listen and I say, this voicing sounds great. I can't even name the voicings, to be honest. This one is a C7, flat 9, sharp 11, natural 13. Oh, you so sorry. Okay. I do know what I'm doing. Just saying. Any other questions? Yep.
Hi Michael, I'm Patricia. I'm a pianist. So I want to ask is, so normally when we are encouraged to memorize our standards, right?
Yes.
So my struggle is when I practicing my pieces with the head, it naturally comes with the chord. So everything is in muscle memory. But when it comes to improvisation, I still need to look at the chords. So what are the tricks to improve the hearing of chords? Yeah, it's because not all of us has perfect pitch. Instead, you have relative pitch, but sometimes you have to test it out on the piano to get the key first. Yeah.
Okay. Irene is perfect. Irene is perfect pitch, right? No.
Good relative pitch, yeah.
We're all blessed to have no perfect pitch. Yeah, it's a really hindrance actually. Okay, so on your questions, because then we go back again to an understanding of what is jazz. How do you improvise in jazz? Like I draw you back to what I said earlier, it's a language. So if you have a chord progression, let's say F major 7, B flat major 7 or something like that. You practice your major 7s. Let me just quickly show you, for example. But you've got to use your ears to figure out what I'm doing. So I have F major 7. I practice my chords with a 9. So F. So I go and do a 9. And I practice all my 9s. Just 9s. So every time I see F major 7, my hand naturally knows all the 9 positions. If I have F major 7, D minor 7, G minor 7, C7, I would go all the 9s. So I end up like this. I just know it and practice it and practice it and practice it, practice all the position. Now I've covered all my nines, I covered it, and if I 2/5, just practice them over and over and over again. It's smart practicing. That's how you practice to learn jazz. And then that's the language. Now I'm learning the language. I'm learning the language. So it is your approach and your understanding of what it is. So if you use and practice that over and over again, next time you know how to apply them now. Yeah? So it's not a mystery. It's a mystery only when you think you're supposed to just make it up. No, you learn these words. You learn this arpeggiation, you learn that arpeggiation, you learn this arpeggiation, you start all over the place, and you just learn over and over. And now after a while, you start to, it just enters your hands. Yeah? Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah, ask.
Mike, for the standards, you're going to the recordings, but if you have a band member or a project where they don't have like a demo, they just give you like a lead sheet or a chart. Like, how's your approach of learning something new that hasn't been recorded before? Like, how do you actually practice or learn the piece or prepare for the rehearsal? Thank you.
Depends on what instrument I'm playing. Like if I'm playing the piano and I look at it and say, okay, am I playing a melody anywhere, or is this melody carried by a saxophone player? If it's just carried by a saxophone player, then I'm more interested in the rhythm and the accompaniment. If I have to play the melody, then I will sort it out. I will learn the melody thoroughly and practice all the various voicings that I need. But for me, jazz is very chordy thing. I will shed the chords. I will just play the chord progression over and over again until the chord progression really sits in me. But most of the time, there are many familiar patterns, 2/5-1s, etc., that keep showing up. Once in a while, there's a bit of variation here, and then I say, oh. So my beloved late friend Salvador Gizzo, phenomenal saxophone player, related to Sylvianos. So he has a term for it. This song, Pare, you gotta be careful, Pare, the cornering. It's like chord progressions are like circuits. Oh, circuit. But you be careful here, there's a very sharp corner there on one chord going to that one. There's a jump. So I practice the sharp corner. I practice just that next, okay, standard 2/5-1, 1/6-2/5, 1/4-5. All this common. I look, oh, this is a sharp corner. This is not familiar in my hand. I just practice that because I gotta learn to take that corner. So I love that analogy. Say, oh, cornering, Pare, cornering, that one the cornering there. And a lot of you all skid off and fail because you didn't practice that cornering. You just practiced just that one. And you learn to spot, oh, problem area here, problem area here, problem area here, okay. Circle, practice only that. Okay, once you're familiar with that, when you come in, by the time you practiced it, you learn the song. Familiar patterns, nothing to learn. What you learn to learn in a new song is unfamiliar things. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that answers the question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Welcome. Any other questions? Yeah.
Hi again, Michael. Okay, I started learning piano, so I play jazz and all that. So my parents, they spend money, to let me learn this instrument. But I found my passion in singing. So what's your take about that? Should I?
I don't know. I haven't heard you sing.
Yeah, I know.
So if I heard you sing, then maybe I'll give you a take. But if you enjoy what you're doing, then go for it. But it all depends. Everybody can sing. I also can sing, but very badly. But it's not like Irene and all that. They're professional singers. They're just recording stars, recording artists. I can sing, but not to the level I can hear in my head. Badly lah. So would you say you sing well or badly?
I'm not sure, but I do sing a little bit.
Okay, then you need to go to a jam session one fine day, have a repertoire and a song, and then test yourself. And if the musicians start screaming at you, or laughing, or rolling their eyes, or Cliff throws a cymbal at you, you know what to do. Just run.
I did try to attend some jazz, some jamming session. Maybe I will share some of the recordings with you and you can have a look.
Sure. Okay.
Can I have
Yeah.
a quick one? Since we are talking about singing, because sometimes I hear people say like jazz, right? People like to start sing different notes in the same song. What is your idea? Should we sing originally written first, and then the second time around play around? Because like I heard somewhere on some YouTube that we should be singing what the person wrote in S. But when I go to some shows, people are singing it differently. What is your advice for this? Thank you.
I don't know. I'm not sure what to say. I think whatever they have advised you to say, you got to copy exactly like some other singer, then that advice is probably not very good. Because you can't. You don't have the same voice. You don't have the same whatever it is. And that person who sang that particular version was something different from the original version. So you're asked not to copy a copy of a copy of a copy. Doesn't make any sense to me, not logical. Right? I think the more important thing is that if you're a singer is to sing faithfully in pitch, in time, with feel, know your lyrics, especially a lot of singers today just don't know their lyrics, they show up with iPads. You know, they're not like Junji who memorizes 1,000 songs, all the lyrics. I mean, you can't do that. So, you know, if you focus on the fundamental things that are important, good singing technique, good breath, know your melody very well, know your lyrics very well, know the tune very well. Right? If you keep to that, then from there will spring ideas of maybe move here, move there as your musicality grows. As your musicality grows, then more thoughts come to your head. But nail down the basics first. Don't all this la-di-da, the bunga bunga. No need all that. The audience wants to hear somebody sing well, nicely. That's more pleasing. So another food analogy. Fried rice. You can have somebody who can make this most exotic fried rice, like taste, wow, wonderful, except this one tiny little problem. His rice, he didn't clean properly and it's always got full of stones inside. And then afterward, ouch, one nice, food, ouch. Or you prefer that, or you prefer somebody who makes just a decent, nice fried rice, very simple, well fried, well this, no stones, easy to eat, well, a bit plain, but you choose which one you want. I think those people want to jump around, do all this exotic bunga bunga thing. They didn't take care of the basics, and all they're saying is that, oops, there's a wrong note there. Oh my goodness, this mispronunciation of the word. How do you pronounce the word? Don't know. Lyrics all salah, everything melody, but wow, the voice is. I can't take this. Give me a plain, simple singer who sings it. It's far more pleasant, And then that person can slowly. That person who knows how to clean their rice properly can slowly get ideas to add. Oh, I can add this, I can add that. I put a bit of kicap manis, I got Indonesian, Different variations based upon a solid base first. Get your basics right. I think that would be my advice now.
Thank you.
Makes sense, right?
May I just add to that?
Sure.
Excellent analogy. I'm a vocalist. So what happens for us vocalists is we are asked to, as what Michael said, play as Bill Evans, because you need to feel the Bill Evans part of it by your ears. So for me, it was Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan. So you would sing like them. My range is different from them, totally different. Mine is much higher. Okay, so I have to sing at that register and then transpose it up. So to sound like Ella And as you practice like Ella, you get the ins and outs, you get the bends, what she does. Where does she go, how does her voice trail? How does it get strong? Where is her chest voice? Where is she, where is she going up there? All of this, when you mimic it, and then later, when you do it yourself on your own, slowly, you come out. You, the person, come out. And you sing that song, and you're no longer mimicking Ella, but your flavor comes out. And when that comes out, you know you have practiced sufficiently. I see. And that is what others will want to emulate, because you have gone, we call it honing the craft. So once you've done that, then you get it. So meanwhile, like frying, you're trying to fry exactly as how this chef has done it, And afterwards, you fry your own fried rice. It's got your flavor in it.
I see. Makes sense.
And it's got your flavor, and you'll have you can tell that influences was Ella, influences was whoever, but it is you that comes out very strong. And after that, a few of those practice, of course, this is many hours in the practice rooms. So many hours. But once you do get it, you don't lose it. For life.
Makes sense.
For life. And it's already part of who you are. And that's the beauty of music. And that's the reward that's why we play.
Thank you.
Thanks, Irene. So if there are no questions, then I'd like to thank Irene for inviting me. Thank you so much, Irene. And thank us for doing my social media, which I don't do. And thank you all for being here. We'll play one more tune. This tune is called Consequence, and there's a short story behind it. Charlie Parker has a really famous tune called Confirmation. And when I first tried to learn it, it was so hard. So I wrote my own tune on his chord progression. And I call it Consequence because that's the consequence of not being able to play Confirmation.
Michael for sharing as a beautiful performance and also inspiring session this time. Now, before we conclude our ICOM class series today, we would like to invite Miss Irene to the stage to present a certificate of appreciation as a token to Mr. Michael.
Certificate of appreciation. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Yes. Thank you.
Alright, now before we end, we would like to invite everyone here to take a photography session with Mr. Michael here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, please head over to the stage for our photography session. Now before we wrap up, I would like to inform you guys that next month will be our last Master Series session on November 6, 2025, featuring Mr. Ramani Ramalingam. So we'll be here at 3 p.m. at same time recital hall here, so mark your calendar for next month. Ada lah.